You are watching the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 sports network in the nation, covering high school sports. NCRA Sports Network.
Last time we were on, we took the pigskin down. We got the orange ball in the middle of the table. We got the breakdown of the Dade versus Florida, the 2012 Kruel Classic, and we got a special guest for you tonight, Bob Webster, part of the KDA family. We are your high school sports network. This is the NCRA Sports Network.
You are watching the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 sports network in the nation, covering high school sports. NCRA Sports Network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are NCRA Sports Network. This is the high school sports review. If this is your first time tuning in with us, we're here in Coral Springs, Florida, sunny South Florida, in the Brews Room off University. If you're not doing anything tonight, folks, you're not watching the Heat game, it's on. The place is live. We got a great audience. Usually my brother is tuned in with you guys, Glenn Stout. I'll be your host tonight, Ryan Stout. I'm here. Other host, Damien Hunt. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal, man. You know, unfortunately, we had to get out of football season, but the beautiful thing, we actually have another season that I'm quite familiar with, my second love, which is basketball. So I can't wait for us to get started. Can't wait for us to go ahead and start hitting some of these games. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm having a good time.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Almost forgot to tell you, we had a great Christmas. I had a great Christmas. Coach, we talked about it. You had a great Christmas.
Absolutely, especially with my newborn son, Jai, you know, and my wife, Faith, and the rest of the family. We did big and we ate big. Now I have to, you know, spend the rest of the 2012 into 2013 losing all the calories that I gained. But that's what the New Year's about. It brings together and gets fatter.
Definitely. I hope everyone's having a good season. Let's jump right into it. We got the breakdown of the Dade versus what, the world, Coach?
Pretty much. I mean, the universe. I mean, you know, I mean, it goes to show you how much talent South Florida really does have. You know, it was mainly Dade County versus Broward, Palm Beach, even the Treasure Coast. And it just goes to show you, I mean, Dade is heavily populated and with an abundance of talent. And, you know, and they basically brought in the rest of the United States to play them.
Well, 39-9, Coach. I mean, you would think, I watched the game last year. Dade, I mean, they were rolling over them. 39-9. I mean, it wasn't a very high-scoring game. We got Miami Northwestern, Darius Tice, 2 touchdowns to open up the half. I mean, Northwestern, I mean, the name already explains itself. I mean, you don't have to say much. You got Carroll City QB, Akeem Jones for 15-yard pass, TD. I mean, Coach, they brought in all 3 quarterbacks, and all 3 of them drove down the field and had a scoring drive.
They did. And one thing you have to take in consideration, Ryan, is that it's real difficult to be the head coach of an all-star game. You have so much talent on both sides of the ball, actually on 3 phases of the ball, and you have to try your best to make sure that you prioritize every time and to make sure that everybody get an equal amount of time. But at the same time, you got to stay with your hot hand. Right. So, you know, it's a very, very hard decision. Right. And, you know, kudos to the coach of both teams, you know, and, you know, again, trying to really evaluate your talent in such a short period of time. Phenomenal.
Right, 3 days. I mean, Coach, that's not much time to work with, but absolutely, as we know, these are all-star players. Top players out of Dade, top players out of Broward, Palm Beach. We got Dr. Crops, QB, Keon Roman for a 48-yard TD pass to wide receiver William French from Carroll City. I mean, that's going down the field right there.
Not only is that going down the field, it sounds like you're playing 7-on-7.
Right.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, it doesn't look like anybody from Florida showed up. Or the world showed up. You know, and maybe they showed up at the last moment and got the 9 points. But the truth of the matter is that we're, you know, I was looking forward to, you know, possibly covering that game. But things happened and we couldn't get out there. But the truth of the matter is, again, Dade County, I mean, you have illustrious talent, and there's a bevy of talent that's coming up for 2014.
Right.
That's going to be scary.
Right. They're going into about to go into halftime. The only points they get, Cardinal Gibbons, Ryan Geronto, with a 40-yard field goal in the first half. 40 yards, I mean, this kid, he must have a boot or something. I mean,
he does.
High school football.
He actually plays quarterback as well as kicker. You know, I got an opportunity to do some training over there at Cardinal Gibbons, and he's a phenomenal young man, can throw the ball real well, can kick the ball plenty far, and, you know, you'll see him do a lot of dual things, and hopefully on whatever level he goes on, if he decides to take it to the next level, you got somebody that can do both.
Well, we thought they were only going to get a field goal, but what do you know, South Plantation, John Franklin with a 103-yard kick return late in the fourth quarter.
We got an opportunity to talk to this young man. This is actually the quarterback of South Plantation. He's actually committed to go to Florida State University. And I'm telling you, you're talking about a young man who roughly has, I believe, a 4.2 GPA. He has an outstanding test score of possibly almost like 1,400. But the good thing is that, you know, in the All-Star game, there's a tweak of the rule because there is no 103-yard kick return during the regular season or even in the postseason. So the very fact that he was deep in the end zone and decided to take this thing to the house goes to show you that he has some talent, because I'm telling you right now, Dade has speed.
It's got to be frustrating.
Dade has some speed. So the very fact that he taking 103 yards, that says a lot. And Florida State, you know, Jimbo Fisher up there, you know, I know he's excited about this young man.
Right. Well, you know, we got the pigskin off the table. Basketball season's in play. We got to finish up with the high school football season. What a great season it was for us and the kids. I mean, it was all around it was overwhelming. But we got special guests in today. I said Bob Webster, part of the KDA family. We really want to get into the Kruel Classic, the 2012 Kruel Classic. We had a chance to go out there with Coach Riley, the non-for-profit 501c3. Got to hang out, got to exchange some words, see some great teams. And when we come back from this break, we'll break that down for you. I'm Ryan Stout, and this is NCRA Sports Network.
HSPN Sports and NCRA Sports. #1 high school broadcast network, bringing you high school sports and events in the nation.
Come on down to Bruce Room. Great taste is just the beginning. First thing that you'll notice, this is your kind of place. When you sit back and relax, you're gonna love the taste. Good times don't go to waste. You found the right place. Come on down to Bruce Room. Great taste is just the beginning.
There are over 1,800 colleges and universities in the nation. There are over 10 million high school student athletes that graduate each year. Only 0.08% of these student athletes that graduate receive full scholarships.
You are watching the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 sports network in the nation, covering high school sports. NCRA Sports Network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the High School Sports Review. Like I said, we're getting into basketball season, the 2012 Kruel Classic. We were there. We got a chance to sit down with Jim Riley. What a great thing they're doing over there, Coach. Not-for-profit. They've been doing it for many years now. I mean, they're bringing in top teams, and those top teams are competing.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen the likes of, Melo, Fab Melo, that now plays for Boston Celtics. You know, he played for Sagemont, and he was in this classic. I had an opportunity to play it back in the day, and so you had a lot of, big time and key athletes that are going to make it big, and that's also going to do big things, and that's already made it big. So exactly, I mean, the things that they're doing over there, the Kruel Classic, is phenomenal. Gives kids an opportunity to do things during the Christmas break rather than getting in trouble. So it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful
it is.
thing.
I mean, when we sat down with Coach Riley, I mean, it was just a blessing, you know, keeping dreams alive, the Kruel Classic, to, you know, come together and, you know, just exchange words and just really helping out the community. But to dive right into it, Coach, North Broward Prep, Lexington Catholic, what we got here, 64-57.
We do. I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, you're looking at Harris, you know, who had one of the hot hands of having 5 boards, 4 assists, 14 points. Arnett with 6 boards, 6 assists, 18 points. You have Reyes, who had 4 boards, 8 points. And then you have Mr. Rifkin at 6 boards and 15 points. And then, of course, Lexington Catholic. They came in, Lexington, Kentucky. That is Avar. He had 5 boards, 2 assists, 14 points. Then the next hot hand was Johnson with 4 boards, 4 assists, 13 points. You had Ryan with 3 boards, 4 assists, 10 points. And then Whitman to bring it up the rear with 5 boards, 3 assists, and 13 points.
This day one numbers.
I mean,
day one in the Classic. I mean,
this is how you get off starting, and that's exactly what the Kruel Classic brings to the team.
Right. I mean, you got to go out there, and these kids, there's high expectations for this Classic. I mean,
absolutely.
Around, they're part of some history, and they come out there, they got to play. But they're in Coral Springs Christian versus Taravella. Coral Springs Christian came out on top with the high scorer Zana with 7 boards, 11 assists, and 25 points. We had Bell with 4 boards, 3 assists, and 15 points. Go over to Taravella with Angelo, our high scorer of the night, with 15 points, 5 boards, and 2 assists. Coach, it's a decent game. Taravella, they came out. They didn't get as many points as we thought they were going to get, but I mean, Coral Springs Christian, they're contenders.
Well, not only are they contenders, Coach, you're talking about that these are young men that actually won the actual tournament last year. So these are not sleepers at all. You know, don't get it mixed up that Coral Springs Christian is a Christian private school that is going to be a walk in the park. Right. Absolutely not. These young men come to play, and that's exactly what they did. And to the next game, we have Sagemont against Northeast. And if it sounds like a basketball score to a football score, 62 Sagemont to Northeast 38. I'm sorry, Sagemont came and brought the house.
Yeah, day one. I mean, Northeast, they didn't know what to expect, I guess.
Northeast Hurricane, they were downgraded to a drizzle. Right. You're looking at Sagemont. That one of the hot hands was Horn, who had 6 boards, 12 points. Cooper, who had 4 boards, 1 assist, 10 points. And then you got Kulichov. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but he had 12 boards and 26 points. And then Northeast, we coming in with Price Martin, who had 4 boards, 2 assists, 11 points. And everybody else, you had Osceola with 4 boards and 10 points, but it was really no matchup. It was a big time.
They came out to play.
They did. I mean, there's nothing else. There's nothing else you can say.
Day one, Northeast, they may not have been ready. Maybe they had to shake, the jitters out or whatnot. But day one, going into day 2, we got Jacksonville The Rock versus American Heritage. Jacksonville came out on top with 65 points over American Heritage 55 with our high scorer of Feed Degana. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. With 5 boards, 2 assists, 12 points. We got Benzo with 4 boards, 8 points. Olsen with 2 boards, 2 assists, and 8 points. And Bitonda, 4 boards, 1 assist, and 9 points. Going over to American Heritage, we got Massey with 10 points overall, 4 boards, no assists. And Ubanks with 20 points, 6 boards, and 3 assists. Coach, what do you think? Jacksonville, The Rock, American Heritage.
I mean, if you're going to name your team The Rock, you better bring it. And that's exactly what they did. And, of course, we can't forget about, one of the main stars that actually plays for the University of Florida. And I got an opportunity to actually coach him while he was actually playing for the Boys and Girls Club, Mr. Kenny Boynton. That's the star point guard at Florida. He actually graduated from American Heritage. So, they have talent. But then we got to bring it on to Cardinal Gibbons and Coral Springs High School.
Ouch.
And this looked like it was maybe 5 people on Coral Springs side and maybe 25 people on Coral Gibbons side. We're looking at Adino with 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 11 points. We're looking at Morales with 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 14 points. And then Gooseby, you got 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 12 points. But to bring it over to Coral Springs, now we have Mr. Aldhart with 3 points, Charles with 6 points, Carey with 5 points. These are, I know they tried their hardest.
Right.
But Cardinal Gibbons has a lot of talent.
Right.
Coach Mathay, which was one of the assistant coaches that I got an opportunity to coach him in football and also in basketball in the past. You're talking about a phenomenal talent. Whole family plays basketball.
Right.
the entire family plays basketball. So you're talking about a lot of talent down there in Fort Lauderdale, you know, and kudos to all the coaches and the Chiefs out there at Cardinal Gibbons. They did their thing.
Yeah, they did. I mean, from looking at the stats, you know, it's very consistent.
Absolutely.
You know, we didn't have one player that stood out, but, I mean, Cardinal Gibbons, they came out and they played ball. 62 points over 28. I mean, you know, either Coral Springs, they weren't making shots, or they were just getting packed. And they were just
Could be a combination of both, Ryan. Could be a combination of both.
Well, we go down High Point Christian of North Carolina versus University School. Wow, 65-33. I don't know, Coach. I mean, we're looking at it with our leading scorer, Wright, with 12 points, 5 boards, and 2 assists. Other lead scorer with 12 points, Kobani, and 6 assists, or 6 boards, I mean, and no assists. On the other side, University School, the Bane, we got him during football season. I guess he plays basketball too, Coach. I mean, he's all over the place. This kid is a beast. Bane with 7 points, 1 board, and 5 assists. I mean, this kid's a beast. They couldn't do it, though. High Point Christian, they came out 65 points over University School. You know, Bane with the high score of 7 points. That's just not going to cut it.
Well, I mean, you know, it's fine and dandy to have, you know, all the talent in the world, and which we know University School does have. Right. But, you know, I think some of the football players need to come over to the basketball team and
get some
at least nothing else they can block.
Right.
And try to, you know, maybe, you know, can actually do some screen passes on the basketball team.
Run some plays out there. Come on,
exactly.
Coach.
Now we're looking at National Christian versus Miramar. National Christian, 76 to 50 points of Miramar. The hot hand for Miramar was Lee with 4 rebounds, 8 points, and we're looking also with we're looking at Hill with 6 boards, 13 points, and then we're looking at also Kingston, 3 boards, 4 assists, 11 points. But now over there to National Christian, we're looking at the hot hand of Mr. Norfleet with 3 boards, 6 assists, 12 points. We're looking at Matthews with 3 boards, 2 assists, 10 points, and Abganda with 3 boards, 8 assists with 14 points. I mean, Fleming with 17 points. These are young men that are doing it on a big-time level, and I'm telling you right now, I am so excited for the basketball postseason. Right. You know, I'm ready to see the postseason, right, even though we haven't even really jumped into the regular season just yet. I'm looking forward to it because I'm seeing all of these things, right, and I'm like, this is going to be challenging and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of basketball. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, don't jump too far ahead, Coach.
I'm sorry, I got to calm down.
We got to be patient now. With Hialeah Garden, 62 points over Lexington Catholic, Kentucky, 60 points. They got him in overtime, Coach. With Sanchez, 10 points, 4 boards, and 1 assist. We got Gonzalez, probably the highest scorer of the game, 20 points, 7 boards, 6 assists. We got Somoza with 15 points and 7 boards. That kid, he's getting up there. Griffin, on the other side, we got Griffin, 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Johnson with 11 points, 3 boards, and 3 assists. And Whitman, the high scorer on the other side, 18 points, 7 boards, and 4 assists. Pretty decent game. Overtime.
I mean, what else do you want? That's competition at its best.
Love it.
But now we're bringing on to one of the state champions, Pinecrest. And I'm talking about, this is a phenomenal school, one of the most prestigious private schools here in South Florida. And you're talking about a score of 69 to South Broward 45. The hot hand was Mr. Klein with 24 points. I mean, you're talking about 8 boards, 8 assists. Then you're talking about Mr. Crawford, 8 boards, 5 assists, 23 points. I mean, it just went on and on and on. And then we go with South Broward. And, you know, they tried their very level best, but we're looking at the hot hand being old time with 10 points, Trial with 11 points, Ball with 8 points. I mean, you just hear, you know, it sounds to me that Pinecrest did a good job in making sure that their big men got the hot hand, and they score frequently and often. And I'm telling you right now, that's how you impact the game. And they just came in and they did their thing.
I mean, Klein and Crawford, I mean, it's almost like they were competing with themselves.
Absolutely.
24 points, 23 points.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about that's ball playing.
That's balling. That's balling.
That really is. We got Archbishop Carroll versus Dillard. Archbishop came out on top, 66 to 49. Woo. We got on Dillard's side with the high scorer, Wright, 15 points, 4 boards, and 7 assists. On Archbishop's side, we got Amaro with 22 points overall, 6 boards, and 4 assists. Leon with 16 points, 7 assists. And we got Burma with 13 points, 3 boards, and 7 assists. Dillard, they came out, but I guess not enough, Coach.
Well, I mean, there's one thing to come out, but you gotta be ready, you know. And then, speaking of ready, we got Pines Charter 75 to Campbell of Georgia 58. And again, I mean, you're looking at Campbell. I mean, the hot hand was Mr. Scott with 27 points. You had Merritt for 14 points, but Pines Charter had the hottest hand of possibly the entire tournament, Mr. Satchel, who had 12 boards.
Ooh.
4 assists, 31 points.
31
if
points.
that's not balling, I mean, it sounds to me that he just went into a zone, and he probably didn't come out until the end of the tournament.
Had to be. I mean, putting up 31 points against a team, I mean, I don't know if he's putting it through his legs, if he's going up on top, but this kid, I mean, like you said, he's balling.
I mean, you know, there's a saying, by any means necessary, and it sounds like that's what Mr. Satchel did for Pines Charter. So, I mean, Mr. Satchel, I'm pretty sure he has a lot of schools looking at him. You're talking about a 6'7" forward. He's doing big things, you know, doing big things.
2 days of good basketball. I mean, 2012 Kruel Classic. I mean, very consistent coach of what they were doing. Let's jump right into day 3. We got High Point Christian again of North Carolina against National Christian. We got 61 points over National Christian, 48. High Point Christian leading scorer with 10 points, Baldwin. He's got 3 boards, 3 assists. Another Kobanani with 20 points, 8 boards, and 4 assists. These kids, they're going at it. National Christian, they couldn't pull it out.
I mean, my thing is that, again, High Point has been running on all cylinders throughout this entire tournament.
Right.
And now you see exactly why so many of these teams coming from all across the nation come to the Kruel Classic, because they know that, and they realize that they're going to get the very best talent, the very best competition here in South Florida. So, you know, the city of Coral Springs is doing a phenomenal job by bringing the Kruel Classic, bringing all of these big-time schools in, and to make sure that they compete against the best. And I'm telling you right now, High Point Christian is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I got an opportunity to look at them a little bit on tape. I mean, they run some beautiful zones. They'll switch into a man. They'll go into the offense. It's very effective. Right. And then we go into Jacksonville, The Rock versus Sagemont.
The Rock.
I mean, again, The Rock.
The Rock.
I mean,
it gets me every time, Coach.
I mean, that means you are anchored down. We're looking at right now the hot hand for Sagemont to be. We're looking at Kirby with 8 points. We're looking at Kolichov with 15 points, 4 boards, 6 assists. Then we go into The Rock, which is, I mean, they had hot hands all over. You had Wellebikin with 5 boards, 2 assists, 14 points. You're looking at Drada with 4 boards, 9 assists. You're looking at, I want to say it's Fidanga, which had 4 boards, 1 assist, 9 points. Then you had Embiid, which 4 boards, 9 points and 1 assist. I mean, The Rock did exactly that. They bust them open and just probably just let them stay there and let them marinate for a little bit. Right. But Sagemont is not, I mean, it's not one of those teams that you can just run over. This is a big-time school.
Day 3 as well. I mean, these kids just come down to the wire. I mean, you know, first 2 days, let's have a little fun. Let's feel out our competition, whatnot. Let's feel out these schools. But, I mean, day 3, it's coming down to it. And, I mean, as you can tell, after looking at these stats, these scores, they're getting pretty close.
Absolutely.
They're getting pretty close. We're going down. We got Campbell versus Coral Springs. Campbell, 64 points over Coral Springs, 52. With a high score, Altador, 19 points, 4 boards, and 7 assists. We got Charles with 11 points, 4 boards, and 2 assists. On the other side, we got Campbell. We got Scott with 24 points, 5 boards, and 13 assists. We got Merritt with 16 points, 7 boards, and 2 assists. And Mitchell with 4 points, 1 board, and 2 assists. Coach, decent game. Campbell came out to play, but that, you know, 11 points, 19 points, they're pretty consistent. You got Campbell coming out there, though, with 24 points. I mean, I think he had the hot hand for the night.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want. And, you know, and then that takes us to the next game, Hialeah Gardens versus Pines Charter. Now, I was looking forward for this game, and I was actually expecting Pines Charter to pull it off, but Hialeah Gardens 70 points to Pines Charter 54, and I know Coach DC's out there, you know, giggling it up because Dade County represented.
Right.
And you talk about the hot hand of Mr. Gonzalez from Hialeah Gardens. He had 19 points, 6 boards, 7 assists. Then you talking about Somoza, which had 6 boards, 10 assists, and 22 points. Then you had Pines Charter, Mr. Satchel. He only had 9 points in this game. Then you had Ali with 13 points and Cheatham for 14 points. I mean, you're talking about now, Mr. Satchel having 31 points in the last game, and to now to switch it over to only score 9 points. Hialeah Gardens had him locked down.
Had to. I mean, they got a chance to see him play, and they weren't gonna let him score 31 points.
Absolutely not.
Obviously, as you can tell.
I
mean, 9 points. That's tough. Going down the list, Miramar versus Taravella. We got Miramar 52 points. Taravella 37. We got Morency 9 points, 3 boards with 2 assists. Fully 8 points, 4 boards, no assists. I mean, going across the board, they were doing all right. We got Taravella with Bush, the hot hand over there, 14 points, 5 boards, and 2 assists. Decent game. They went into halftime. Miramar was up 21-18. But overall, I don't see much, not much special. But it was a decent game. They came out to play, and they pulled it out.
And again, we're going to go with the next game with, again, a state champion, the defending state champion, Pinecrest, against Coral Springs Christian. Again, last year, this is the tournament that Coral Springs Christian actually won. So the very fact that Pinecrest, and these are the type of games that hurt real bad when you lose by 1 point. You had Pinecrest 49 to Coral Springs Christian 48. Coral Springs Christian, their hot hand, legitimately. You're talking about Prophet with 4 points. You're talking about Zayna with 19 points. And also Talent with 10 points. But now Pinecrest, here we go. We got Mr. Klein with 14 points. We got Mr. Crawford, 14 points. These are, and Gupta, 9 points. I mean, and it sounds to me that Pinecrest pretty much led throughout the game.
Right.
At halftime, it was 27-24, Pinecrest. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of people, they remember Mr. Brandon Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Being the all-star, being the stud. But I'm telling you right now, since Brandon Knight has left, they've been doing they've been talking some noise, and they've been doing a lot of pushing around. And Pinecrest is, again, and I know they just had their ring ceremony in November. And I'm telling you right now, Pinecrest is looking to repeat this thing all over again.
I mean, it's a heartbreaker. They come out there, Coral Springs Christian, they look like they got them. I mean, yeah, they're leading. They're coming out of halftime. Pinecrest is up. But, I mean, close game. Coral Springs Christian, they just couldn't pull it out. Definitely a heartbreaker. Going back down the list, Lexington Catholic of Kentucky versus Dillard. We got high scores, Lexington. Aver, 23 points, hot hand of the night, coach.
Wow.
9 boards, 2 assists. Johnson also 16 points, 6 boards with 2 assists. Whitman, 11 points, 2 boards, 5 assists. Going on the other side of Dillard, we'll take it over to Walker with 19 points, 8 boards, and Wright with 17 points, 4 boards, and 9 assists. I mean, halftime, they were leading. Lexington Catholic, they came out 34-31. It was a pretty close game, but they broke away, Coach.
They did. And, again, you're talking about Kentucky. They play good ball in Kentucky, and, I mean, need I say more? Look at the University of Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky plays ball.
That's ball.
And, it's phenomenal. Now we're moving on to the next game with South Broward versus University School. And we're talking about South Broward 63, University 61.
That's close.
And it sounds to me that University started to get the kinks out.
All right.
And they actually got off the bus
Yep.
to try to do a little something, but they
Had
still
to.
fell a little short. South Broward, one of the hot hands was Mr. Tracy with 4 boards, 4 assists, 13 points. Mr. Alltime with 7 boards, 1 assist, 19 points. And we're looking at Mr. Adams with 5 boards, 2 assists, 14 points. But here we go with University School. And again, they tried their best to come out, but you actually have, young men by battle with 4 points, and Hewitt with 7 points, and Bullock with 13 points.
I
and
see Bain
Allen
down
with
there
10
too.
points. And Bain just went off. He's doing it on the football field.
Yeah.
He's doing it on the basketball court.
Feeling the pump.
I mean, what do you want? That's what you call an athlete.
Yeah.
And he had, he made sure he came in and threw his 21 points in there.
Had to.
So
Had to. That's pride. The pride was getting to him. We go on down the list. Cardinal Gibbons over Archbishop Carroll, 51-49. Very close game. coming out of halftime, Archbishop Carroll 27-20. We got high scorers, 15 points, Morales with 4 boards, 7 assists, and Dino with 10 points and 4 boards. Going on the other side of Archbishop Carroll, we got Lima with 11 points, 4 boards, and Leon with 15 points, 3 boards, and 7 assists. Decent game, Coach. 51 points, 49, you know, very consistent. You know, as we're going over these stats, you know, these teams are very, you know, as the days are going on, it's very consistent, and, you know, you don't really see a big breakaway. You don't.
And you won't. I mean, the thing is, you're supposed to tighten it up the further you get into the tournament. And if you haven't made any adjustment, then you're actually coming there to lose. So you want to make sure you make all the proper adjustments. You know, you can't go man to man on, you know, that you did the first game. You may have to go to a zone. You may have to go to a 2-2-1 or a 3-1-3. I'm sorry, a 3-1-1, or, you know, or a 1-3-1. So you may have to go to a different type of scheme, and then, you know, make sure that you make those adjustments. You know, but going into, you know, one of the ending of day 4. I'm sorry, this is day 3. Day 3, American Heritage versus Northeast. American Heritage pulled it off with 69 versus Northeast 65. And you're talking about right now Massey with 11 points. You're talking about Eubanks with 16 points. Borden, 13 points. Mullings with 2 points. I mean Lamont with 10 points. And also but with Northeast, we actually have Price Martin with 18 points. It seems like he's at the hot hand. Simpson didn't want to be left out. He also had 18 points. I mean, this is what you tell your team to do. Unfortunately, Northeast came in at the short end of the stick yet again. But it sounded like they started to pick things up, started to make those adjustments. They just.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard 3-day of basketball. It is. I mean, these teams are coming out. It's getting down to the wire. I mean, right. no one wants to leave the place, you know, as a loser. You
Absolutely
know,
not.
It's a top-notch tournament. But when we come back, we got the tournament champions. Day 4, it was a great day, very exciting day. You know, it came down to the wire. But when we come back, stay tuned. This is NCRA Sports Network.
You are watching the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 sports network in the nation, covering high school sports, NCRA Sports Network.
Just the beginning. First thing that you'll notice, this is your kind of place. When you sit back and relax, you're gonna love the taste. Good times don't go to waste. You found the right place. Come on down to Brews Room. Great taste is just the beginning.
At Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation, we believe that if you change one life, you can change a generation.
There are over 1,800 colleges and universities in the nation. There are over 10 million high school student athletes that graduate each year. Only 0.08% of these student athletes that graduate receive full scholarships.
We're here, we got your back.
And you can go back and get your college degree and come back and help us, man.
It all started with a dream. And now it's up to us to keep it alive.
If you're sitting out there and you're wondering, you have to start that process.
Education comes first. You never know what the future holds.
Gave me a better opportunity to make it in life. Live your dreams.
You are watching the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 sports network in the nation, covering high school sports, NCRA Sports Network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the High School Sports Review. This is NCRA Sports Network. My name is Ryan Stout. If you're just tuning in, we're here with Damien Hunt and our special guest tonight, Bob Webster. Bob, how you doing?
Great to be here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're just getting in with the 2012 Kruel Classic. We're going to finish it up for you. Damien's got the championship teams and the MVP players.
Absolutely. You're looking at right now the Kruel champion. The winner was High Point Christian. And you're talking about the Jim Kruel MVP, Mike Cabani, with the Power 96 Elite Challenge. The winner, Jacksonville, The Rock. You know, and the MVP of that 96 MVP was Mr. Joel Embiid. With Publix Challenge, we're looking at the winner, Cardinal Gibbons, with the KL2's MVP, Ryan Andino. And the Rock Sharpshooter, Dylan Avera. And these from Lexington Catholic, Kentucky. So congratulations to those teams. Congratulations to those MVP candidates and winners. And I mean, that's what you want. That's exactly, you want that type of atmosphere playing basketball. It's an exciting sport, and they did an exciting job over there at the Kruel Classic. So those people that actually come together to do this classic every year, kudos and hats off go to them. And thanks again for the city of Coral Springs allowing us to at least talk about it. It was great.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, it was an honor to be out there with Jim Riley in the Kruel Classic, and you know, as a representative of KDA, going out there keeping dreams alive. But on the other hand, with our special guest speaker tonight, Bob Webster, we brought him in basically to tell his story on how he got a part of KDA and NCRA Sports Network. So Bob, we already introduced you. The people, we want to know your story. You know, where did it start for you?
Well, I gave your father a phone call. Hadn't talked to him in several years. Lost contact with him, and we got together for lunch, and was telling him a little bit about what was going on in my life. And you know, I knew he was retired, enjoying life. I was a little jealous of that, but you know, he said, "Well, I'm really not retired. I'm involved in KDA and keeping dreams alive." And I said, "Well, tell me all about this." So we got into a real heated discussion on that, and man, it hit my heart, and it was involving sports, and man, sign me up. I was ready.
Well, we know you play basketball. You have a history in basketball. You've been to your formal from Coral Springs.
Coral Springs High, yes, first graduating class.
Wow. Coral Springs native, first graduating class. So we understand you got some records out there.
Yeah, there's 3 records that they can never take away from me because I was on the first team. And that was the first 2 points, the first dunk, and I had back-to-back dunks in 2 separate plays.
You had to be good.
So they can't ever take that away from me.
They won't ever take that from me.
Nope, and I can tell everybody that until I die. But yeah, it was interesting being a brand new school. We got our butts kicked quite a bit, but we had fun, and we set the tone for the upcoming kids.
Okay. Well, breaking these records and being a part of a basketball team and being just a part of a sports team, what was it like, the recruiting process? And you know, did you want to take that farther on to get, you know, did you want to go get your education, or you know, did you want to pursue basketball later on in college? You know, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, I was recruited in high school, but trust me, these days are different than days when I played. Okay, I played when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and Charles Barkley, we're all about the same age, and we had the short shorts on.
Right.
So things are different. Things are different right now. But yeah, I got recruited by some schools, but unfortunately my mother had cancer, and some of these schools were out of state, and I wanted to stay home and be around my mother. Plus I had a girlfriend. So
that'll get you every time.
I signed 2 years ago to Palm Beach Community College, so I could be at home, see my mother and girlfriend on the weekends, because Palm Beach is only 45 minutes away. But I finished 2 years of that, and then I signed to go out to a school called Cameron University in Lawton, Oklahoma. And they had just won the national championship in NAIA basketball. They had 2 guys to the NBA on that team. So that particular school is an outlaw school. They get all the rechecks from Texas, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. I mean, when they get thrown out or in trouble, they go to Cameron University. So a buddy of mine at Palm Beach Community College Howard Hoskins. He was 6'7". Him and I went out together and played there for our remaining 2 years. And then I decided after 1 year that was enough. So the weather was too much for me, and the coach had a big ego problem. So if you ever saw the movie One-on-One, which Robbie Benson was the basketball player, and that was a similar story to me. Didn't get a lot of playing time until the end of the season, and then by then I was frustrated with the coach, so I told him he could have my last year of basketball scholarship. So my intention was, I'm done with basketball and I'm going to go to the University of Florida and go play golf.
Oh, man.
Now, I did play golf in high school.
He said University of Florida.
He did say University of Florida.
Yes, the Mighty Gators.
Oh, God, stop it. Okay, that's for it.
And it was really weird because when I transferred from Cameron to Florida, the Oklahoma State golf coach became the Florida golf coach.
Wow.
So I had something in common right away. So I went, had a meeting with him and said, hey, I'd like to walk on and make the golf team. And he said, sure, have at it. So I started practicing my golf game to get it back in fine shape. And then all of a sudden I bumped into Norm Sloan, the basketball coach at that time at the University of Florida. And he remembered me from a basketball game when I was at Palm Beach Community College.
Wow.
He was there was a basketball tournament, and evidently he was in the area, and I did not know this at the time. So I felt pretty honored that he recognized me, and he called me into his office the next day and said, hey, do you have any eligibility? And I said, yeah, 1 year left, because I told him I was at Palm Beach Junior College.
Right.
I'm in Oklahoma. So anyway, I was a confused kid then, didn't know what to do. I called my father and said, Dad, you know, I'm here trying to play golf. Now I'm talking to the basketball coach. What do I do? So my dad always said, hey, you're a grown man now. You make the decision. So I decided to go out for the basketball team, and a wonderful experience, and made the team and didn't really see the court, but it was a great experience. So I went through 3 different schools through my career of basketball.
Well, I mean, what a wonderful story we have here. What a wonderful journey. You know, we have a great opportunity to actually work with Bob's son, Reed Webster. He actually does some of our camera stuff when we broadcast live. Got a chance to work out with him through my high school days, and
that's right.
Had a chance to see him grow, and you know, we've grown together. But you know, since you're part of Keeping Dreams Alive now, and you're part of the team and the family, and you know, we've been broadcasting, and you know, just the things that you've done for us so far. We always like at Keeping Dreams Alive. If you work for the non-for-profit, it's most likely you're a mentor, one way or another. You've mentored, you know, some type of athlete, whether it's a student or just any person, you know, whether it's a son or a daughter. But what we want to know is, you know, what advice, if you give some advice to kids that are playing basketball now. You know, they just got out of the Kruel Classic. You know, I didn't get a chance to play basketball. I played Little League or the little farm league. Wasn't very good. Shot with both hands. We won't talk about that. Anyways, you know, for these basketball players, they got a chance to play in the tournament, and you know, they're getting their exposure. What kind of advice would you give them? You know, we're going into basketball season, so.
I can relate to this season now.
Right. You know, it's good to have you on the table, because the pigskin. You know, there's only a select few guys that can come up here and talk about, you know, the pigskin. But you know, since we got the orange ball on the table, we're glad to have you up here. But any advice you give some of these kids going into their basketball season?
Well, obviously, high school sports are so competitive now. It's like I said before, I played in the ancient days, and things are totally different. So when I was in school, you know, golf and then basketball. Golf and then basketball. So I played like 6 months. You know, these days and age, you got to play all year round. Absolutely. All year round, and you got to be totally dedicated. Weights are a real big factor now. Nutrition, all these things were minor things in my day. Right. But now, if you're not in tip-top shape, stronger, faster, you're going to fall on the weight. You know, fall back. So it's real important that these kids keep focused on really what they want to do. But Coach told me once, you can burn yourself out if you do too much. And it is good to have a second sport so you can break up the monotony of basketball every day for 365 days. So it's good to have a hobby to do that as well.
Well, we sure do appreciate you coming on with us. Finally, we get you on. I'm glad to be a part of it. I don't get to come on very often. They don't like when I get on the mic. Just kidding. But
well, it's great to be here, and I'm looking forward to getting some great basketball games going this year.
Oh, definitely.
I've talked to several coaches, and they're looking forward to us to come and broadcast these games. And I'm licking my chops, man. I just can't wait to get started.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you will see a lot more of Bob Webster at this table. This is his sport, as you heard his story. Damien, I mean, you know the sport just as well as anyone else. But it's great to have you on. Great to hear your story. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up. This is your high school sports network. We are the NCRA Sports Network.
You are watching the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 sports network in the nation, covering high school sports. NCRA Sports Network.
Come on down to Bruce Room. Great taste is just the beginning. First thing that you'll notice, this is your kind of place. When you sit back and relax, you're gonna love the taste. Good times don't go to waste. You found the right place. Come on down to Bruce Room. Great taste is just the beginning.
There are over 1,800 colleges and universities in the nation. There are over 10 million high school student athletes that graduate each year. Only 0.08% of these student athletes that graduate receive full scholarships.
We're here, we got your back.
And you can go back and get your college degree and come back and help us, man.
It all started with a dream. And now it's up to us to keep it alive.
If you're sitting out there and you're wondering, you have to start that process.
Education comes first. You never know what the future holds.
Gave me a better opportunity to make it in life. Live your dreams.
How far are you willing to go?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the High School Sports Review. We just got done cleaning up the Classic. Yep. What a great tournament, Coach. 2012 Kruel Classic. I mean, top-notch tournament in the nation. You got to see it here. We broke down the statistics, the players, but now let's get into the kids that we need to watch out for and the teams we need to watch out for this season, because NCRA is going to be on the road, and we're going to be covering these kids and these teams as well. So, top returning players of Dade County. We got center Alvaro Somoza, Hialeah Gardens. He's a senior. We got center Adrian Gonzalez of Hialeah Gardens, also a senior. We got center Antravius Simmons with South Miami. He's also a senior. It's looking like all these guys are seniors. We got guard Cedric Hankerson, Coral Reef. We got guard Brian Gladsford, he junior, Coral Reef High School. Center Whaley Monprium, Miami High School, also a senior. We got guard Alan Baez with Miami High. We got a center forward, Muhammad McCrea of Norland High School, Miami Norland. We got Sam Singer of Ransom. Richie Spiller, Booker T. Washington, also a senior. Amida Brihma, Archbishop Carroll, also a senior. Alonzo Morning, Ransom. He is also a junior.
Also the son of the future Hall of Famer.
The future Hall of Famer.
Center of Miami Heat.
Okay.
Alonzo Morning.
Okay. And Nick Santana of LaSalle, also a senior, and Armand Schoon of Westwood Christian, also a senior. Those are the top returning players of Dade County. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be covering, we will keep you updated on these players to let you know how they are doing this season.
Absolutely, and for Broward County, the teams that you need to watch out for, and some of these are defending state champion winners, such as Blanche Ely High School. We have American Heritage, my alma mater, Deerfield Beach, go Bucks. We have Dillard Panthers. We have St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders. We have Northeast Miramar. We have Pine Charters. We have Cypress Bay. We have Fort Lauderdale, Sagemont, Pinecrest, Coral Springs Christian, North Broward Prep, Cardinal Gibbons. We have University School. We have International School of Broward. We have Chaminade, Madonna. We have Westminster Academy. We have Coral Springs Charter. And some of the players of Broward County, these are elite young men that are from Northeast. We got Malik Price Martin, the 6'9" center. We have Cedric Wright, the Dillard sophomore, 6'6", who also plays a little forward center combination.
That's a big kid.
Oh yeah, we have Dallas Cameron, actually from Blanche Ely. He's a senior, 6'2" guard. We have Lance Tejada, the third, Blanche Ely, 6'2" guard, junior. We have Terrence Johnson from the Mighty Bucks, Deerfield Beach, seniors, 6'3", wingman. We have Khalil Thomas, Blanche Ely, the senior. Oh yeah, absolutely, 6'8".
A lot of Ely guys on here.
We got a lot of Ely, and now we're getting ready to get into American Heritage. We got Drake Lamont, junior, 6'9" center. We have Kobe Eubanks. He got to be a beast. His first name is Kobe. American Heritage Junior, 6'5" wingman. We actually have Keyshawn Evans, American Heritage sophomore, 6'1" guard. We have Steve Haney, St. Thomas Aquinas, senior, 6'6" wingman. We have Richard Lee III, Blanche Ely, junior, 6'3" wingman. We have Javaris Jenkins from Deerfield Beach, senior, 6'6" wingman. We have Justin Satchel. Again, we have already talked about him throwing out 31 points before in the tournament. We have from Pine Charter, senior, 6'7", forward. And then, of course, to wrap it up, we have Mr. Hannah Cheatham, Pine Charter, sophomore, 6'5" wing. And of course, we have we can go into more and more, but we have Coral Springs Christian, Sagemont, we got Zana, Kulachov, we got Klein, we have Randomkov. I guess I'm saying his name.
Pinecrest up there, 6'10".
6'10". He might be the tallest young man, and I'm looking at us. Yeah, the tallest man that we've actually covered thus far.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, we have so many schools, and those schools that are coming out, you have to realize that these are young men that have been training throughout the entire season. For some of these young men, it's year-round basketball.
Right.
They don't have a break. They'll play AAU. They'll play travel basketball. They'll play, in little leagues here and there. They'll play for the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA. So a lot of these young men are, and also some of these young men that we've already heard are actually coming off the football field right onto the court. So they're in condition, and I'm looking forward again for us to go in out, just like Mr. Webster said, getting out there, covering some of these basketball games. It should be a phenomenal season.
It should be. I mean, it's overwhelming. I'm very excited.
Absolutely.
First basketball season for us, boys and girls.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure we get those girls.
We got to get the ladies. It's all about the ladies as well. We have to make sure we show love to them.
Definitely. Got to get the ladies on board. But, I mean, basketball season, it is underway. Can't wait to get out there following some teams around Broward, Dade. We'll have the radio show, 560sports.com. Make sure you tune in with us, not only on basketball, but because it's postseason football, we don't want to forget about these athletes. We come in different seasons. It's not like Mr. Webster said. These sports, and like you said, these sports are all year round.
Absolutely.
They're during their off time, they're still putting in work. And for the seniors, for us, NCRA Sports, we're doing our recruiting tour, where we're going into these high schools and we're teaching these kids how to play the recruiting game. It's time for you guys and girls to get on your horse and put these player profiles together. Teach these kids what to expect from these coaches. How simple things like writing a letter,
absolutely,
having a conversation, getting a dialogue in with a coach.
And one thing that they also can do, they can also make sure that they tune into NCRASportsNetwork.com, and you can actually go ahead and pull up your own page. You can actually design a page. You want to put your picture up there, you're fine. You want to put a video up there, you're fine. So you have so many different avenues. And let me also tell you, if we're not at their school yet, make sure you go ahead, go crazy to your coaches, to your principals, administration, and say, listen, we need to get KDA and NCRA out there, because we want to make sure that we do teach these young men and young ladies how to play the recruiting game. But they can't do it and also put so much pressure on the coaches, because guess what? The coaches can only do so much.
Right.
As a player, you have to stay in shape.
Right.
Make sure the grades are still on point. Make sure that you're taking your test scores. If you don't have the test scores that you need, make sure that you can improve on those test scores and continue to, like I said, continue to stay in shape and continue to make sure that you continue to play this recruiting game that we're going to teach you. I'm telling you, we're giving you the tools.
Right.
And guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, it is free 99. Yes, you heard it. Free 99. You don't pay anything for this. And I mean, again, I've never, and I was talking to, the founding father of NCRA, Glenn Stout III, and said, I've never seen so much resistance for free stuff. If anybody wants to give me anything free,
it's amazing.
I'm opening up my door. We have to almost bust doors down. But guess what? We will make it to Broward County. Hopefully one day to every school. We will make it to Dade County, Palm Beach County, Treasure Coast. I mean, we're going to make it out there. But the truth of the matter is we have to make sure that we get out there and do the things that are necessary for us to help these young men and young ladies. And I'm telling you right now, we have young ladies playing football.
Right.
We have,
oh, yeah.
I mean, we're covering soccer. We're going to be covering rugby. We're going to be covering all sports.
All sports.
So I don't, you may see on the website right now a bunch of men, but ladies, you tune in too. You log in as well. Create a page and let us come and help you guys.
Most definitely. I mean, as you can see, there's more than enough going on with what we're doing. I know there's more than enough going on with our student athletes, with our players and our coaches, but it's a great thing that we're doing out here and what everyone else is tuning in, what you guys are doing out here. We just want to, again, thank everyone. We want to thank the Brews Room for letting us come out here, NCRA Sports Network, KDA Foundation, to come out here and let us do our thing. I mean, it's a great audience. It's a great night. I didn't get a chance to watch the Heat game, but I see LeBron's on the screen right now. Hopefully they won.
I think they did.
Okay, well, hopefully, good thing they won. Go Heat. But special thanks to the whole NCRA team. Special thanks to, obviously, the foundation that backs us 100%, keeping dreams alive. I want to give a shout-out and a thanks to Tonto Irie with the Reggae Run-Ins and 105.1. Tonto, if you're tuned in right now, we're getting the people, we're directing traffic towards you. If you're not listening to him, 10 to 1 every Saturday night, p.m., that is 10 p.m. to 1 in the morning. Check out Reggae Runs with Tonto. That is our man from Jamaica. Tonto is doing his thing.
Can't forget about the beautiful Lady English, who also, who also does her thing as well. I mean, and Martell Chin, her husband. You're talking about, these are a great bunch of people for Hot 105, and we're looking at doing some big things. We're looking at having a great relationship. Stay tuned.
Right.
You guys need to stay tuned.
And we just want to thank them for letting us come out there the other night, keeping dreams alive. NCRA Sports, they let us come on and talk about what needs to be talked about in the community.
Absolutely.
Also, we want to thank Elizabeth. I know you're watching Elizabeth Lavulu. She's out there, the West Coast, not of Florida. I'm talking about Killer Cali out in Utah as well with the WhatItDo.com, the Urban Island Review. I know she's out there. She's hustling for keeping dreams alive. Changing one life, changing a generation. We overall we want to thank God. We can't wait to get DC back on with us.
Ooh, he's on his way back. He's in Georgia right now, kicking it back in the woods right now, getting that fresh air, getting all that stuff out of him. Yep. And when he comes back, he's going to be on fire. I'm telling you right now.
Well, we can't wait to have him back. Can't wait to have my brother back, Glenn Stout, other known as G4.
G4.
He's out there hustling right now as well. It's been a long break for all of us. We hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Hope you have a wonderful, Happy New Year. Make sure you get your New Year's resolutions in. We're closing out this year with a bang. Basketball season is in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we do.
I mean, most importantly, also, Ryan, we want to make sure that we thank the coaches for allowing us to come out. The football and basketball and any other sport and most importantly, the parents. We've gotten such an overwhelming love and support from our parents. Whether their child plays or not. We have Miss Cook that's down there.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Central.
Oh, yes.
Miss Cook, thank you very much. We love you. I mean, we got Terrence Grant, one of the Dillard kids. I mean, all
We're watching you,
Anderson. Coach Wayne Blair. I mean, George Smith from St. Thomas and Coach Casulo.
The list goes on.
I mean,
the list goes on and
phenomenal.
on.
We thank all of you guys, man. It's been a ride. I thank God that you guys allowed me to come along for the ride. I'm like my son. Just put me in a booster seat and just drive me. I'll ride.
Well, Coach, it sounds good. We're here to wrap it up. We're glad you got to tune in with us. If it's your first time, I hope you enjoyed the show. My name is Ryan Stout, Damien Hunt.
That's it, all day long.
We love you guys. Hope to see you next time. I hear Wednesday night, 9 p.m. We'll let you know when these dates come up for the radio broadcast and future events. This is your high school sports review. We are the NCRA Sports Network.
You are watching the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 sports network in the nation, covering high school sports, NCRA Sports Network.